And I think the point is, no, I don't think they should. I mean, personally speaking, I don't think there should be any form of exclusion. And I think that it's the problem that I'm having here is that we are confining this whole question to menstruating women. But in fact, women are excluded in a whole series of different ways, in a whole series of different traditional, religiously sanctioned ways, which is, for example, when they are feeding children, so breast milk, it's not just menstrual blood, it's breast milk. When they've given birth, they are also excluded because of the impurity associated with biological fact of their bodies. And most of all, and I think most troubling to me of all, is the sanctification given by religion and ritual to the death of women. For example, femicide, or female infanticide, and female feticide, or sati. I think these are all supported by religion. These are all practices and rituals that have the sanction of religion. It is indeed, it is cited.
It's very sad in modern India that religion is considered a very dirty thing. Especially the modern religion.
Okay, Radhika, let's have some order here. Ravi, 1 second. I'll give everyone a chance.
Radhika discriminates. Religion discriminates and discriminates very centrally against certain kinds of bodies which it does not think are pure.
All right. Now, 1 second. We'll get to you. Jay, you were wanting to make a point.
First, my quick credentials. Unlike you, I'm not a terrorist, but I am proud to be a feminist.
Thank you. Good to hear that.
And I think women certainly have the right to question some of these traditions. And I think women should, just like Dalits and just like people who are not necessarily born Hindu, have a right to now generate this dialogue with which hopefully we can have changes that evolve.
All right, Mercy, I want to ask you something. One of the things, your own example, we spoke earlier about how you said it's patriarchy, so I've accepted it. But now talking as a woman, why does your own faith get rendered because you married a Hindu? Why did you ever think of bringing up your children as both Hindu and Christian?
In Kerala, there is a Attikal Devi Kshetra. There is a very famous festival there, Attikal Pongala. Only women are allowed it. No men.
No men.
Men are excluded.
There are female priests in Kerala. There are female.
Every
and Attikal is called women Shabarimala. For your knowledge.
And
Manashala is there.
Manashala, Tantri is a woman. There is a lady.
Okay.
And again, I want to tell you. Now, she is saying about impurity, menses and all that. At home, when you got a puja room, women are not allowed to go anywhere near to that puja room.
But is that okay? Is that
so
okay?
That should. That's what I said. Reform should.
I think Amma, what Amma is asking,
reform
should begin at home.
At home. Not on a debating on that. That should come from home.
All right, Swamiji and then Chandrabhanji.
Yes, I was going to say, in all our ISKCON temples, we don't have some special officer at the door that questions the ladies regarding their life cycle. So, if there are some nursing mother or something, these are not considerations, you know.
Okay, Chandrabhanji.
By history and by tradition, Dalits and women are hostess to Hinduism. And Hindu gods and goddesses are kidnappers. They have kept us there by force.
But why only Hinduism? It's all faiths. All faiths discriminate against women.
Hinduism in particular, it has kidnapped Dalits and women.
This is the bias we are talking about.
All right, Mukul.
We should not say that every tradition is bad. It seems to me that we are going on this basis as if we are, dissecting a law which has nothing to do with religion, instincts, etc. I mean, it's not like that. Insofar as women are concerned, suppose, it is considered as unclean, etc. for hundreds of years, for 3 days in a month. What's the big deal? It's not like saying go to one restaurant or the other restaurant. That's not correct. But, if it is basically thought in that fashion, and as Mercy said that even at home it is not there, why make a big issue out of it? I can understand 10 to 50 years, blanket ban, more than half your life you can't go in. Yes, you should raise a debate. But if it is 2 or 3 days in a month,
what's the big deal? High Court. That's a verdict by
No, I'm not on the High Courts. We are not on courts. We are not on courts. Courts can't rule on everything. Courts cannot rule on everything. But we should know what the traditions are.
All right.
Remove the bad ones. Keep some.
And I guess the problem is who decides what's good and bad. We can't seem to agree on it here. Yes, Mukul says, what's the big deal? A lot of people would agree with you, including women. a lot of other people, including men, would say it is time to question things, not because in itself they're a big deal, because they represent larger statements on gender, caste equality, religious equality, that some of us have trouble with. We'll take a break and we'll come back to this. After the break, 1 second Pratihari ji, after the break we'll look at what are some things we can agree on that must change by consensus or by law, whichever, but where are we headed? We'll look at that after the break. What happens when there is a clash between purity as it has been historically defined and allegations of prejudice? That's what we're looking at on the program. Before we return to our panel, some comments from the audience. Yes?
Exactly. What I was saying is that, we cannot apply the uniform civil code in religion. You're actually destroying each individual identity of religion, be it Hinduism or Islam or Christianity. So what you will end up is, the same thing all over. Then how come the beliefs are different? How come the people would be different?
So you think everyone's allowed their own individual rituals?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Well, I think if you're talking of purity or prejudice, let's get this straight. Let's not target temples. Let's also talk of the Vatican City, where even the Protestants are not allowed, forget non-Christians. Let's also talk of Mecca and Medina.
Okay, so there are many different views here. You were wanting to make a point. Yes.
First of all, what I have gathered now is religion is divide and rule. You can divide between people. Secondly, what Rahul said, he didn't say the full statement. He said Hinduism worships Lord Krishna, who was not a Brahmin, Ram, Shivji was a Chandal.
Yeah.
My dear friend, on one hand you are worshipping them, on the other hand you are denying permission to people who belong to that caste.
See, nobody is denying. Nobody.
It's a double standard. It's a double standard. If not you, there are temples in this country which is denying entrance to OBCs.
Okay, let him respond. Now, quickly.
See, there are exceptions. I agree with that. But we are trying to evolve a consensus. Shabarimala, there is a Muslim Pradishta. There is a Muslim idol there called Vavar. So there have been exceptions. We are trying to evolve a consensus. And one more thing, adding to a very good point by Srimati Mercy Ravi, this Atigal temple is in Guinness Book for the largest congregation of women, 15 lakh women. It's the highest body of women in the world. It's called Women's Shabarimala, Atigal. Why don't you talk about that? Their men is excluded. I never make a problem by saying that, see, we have menism. I want to go to do the Pongala there.
That's a new word. Okay. All right.
Every individual wants to show that he is a different individual. We have got our own individuality. Like that, every deity has got a separate mool mantra. A tantric does japas or meditation or whatever you want to call it, and then passes that energy into that stone.
So you're
then
saying allow that individual ritual?
Allow that tantric decides what ritual practices should be allowed to be continued. Right. Allow that to continue.
Okay. Yes.
I'd like to know who is holy and who decides whether he is holy or unholy. Only God has to decide. No, we are not, after all, we are all human beings. Heart is the temple of God. If you don't have proper character, whether you go to temple, whether you go to church, whether you go to mosque, anywhere, just nothing, no use of it.
All right, so can we trust the interpreters of religion to decide what's holy and what's not?
I wonder what will be God's take on this issue. One, the second thing is
anyway.
or her.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the second thing is any thoughts, action, or behavior which does not respect human beings as human beings is questionable. And I think the days have passed when arbitrary actions were allowed. Today, people stand up and ask questions, and it needs to be answered.
Okay. All right. One last audience question here. I'm just totally out of time. Yes.
I would like to add one thing, that it is Hinduism is the only religion in the world in which it is said yatra naryastu pujyante tatra ramante devta. And I would also like to say that,
which means what?
Which means wherever females are worshipped, God will be blessed.
You say.
यत्र नारयन्ते पूज्यन्ते तत्र रमन्ते देवता. जहाँ पर नारी की पूजा की जाती है, वहाँ पर देवताओं का वास होता है. Secondly, I would like to add one more thing, that
I'm listening.
Only in Hinduism we have what the Sanatan Dharma, what we call it.
Okay, now you have set a huge debate. Let me come back to our panel for last comments. Let me start with Swami Makhanlal. Okay.
We have open door policy. Only a severely intoxicated person might be turned away. Otherwise, anyone can come.
All right. Chandrabhanji, you are an atheist, but there are thousands and thousands of Dalits who do demand the right of entry into temples. So obviously they still believe that they draw something from that religion that they believe in.
See, it's like this. I may not go to a particular 5-star hotel for dinner, but I should have the right to go there.
All right, Mukul.
I would frankly say, Bharka, we have enough problems in this country. I think we should end this debate here and not carry it on. It's not such a big deal. We should think about it after the next 10 years.
And I think it's a really big deal. That's the reason why debating. And I believe it's the time for the third great religious debate in the history of Hinduism. After Shankara, Madhava and Ramanuja, and the second one was Raja Ram Mohan Rai and then the Saraswati. The third one, let us start on this. We are right now trying to interpret the eternal religion, the Sanatana Dharma, in the context of this time and space. We are ready for that. And I'm inviting everyone for that discussion. Maybe it will end up in something.
Will you invite me also?
Yeah, definitely. And she's a person, I am a fan of you. That's you can see in my Orkut profile. So what on a serious note, I'm inviting everyone in this country for the third great religious debate through which we can evolve upon a consensus.
So it is time for a debate.
It is time for a debate.
All right.
Absolutely.
Let me give the last word to the Ravis. Mercy, looking back at this whole thing, just if you had to summarize, would you ask your son to go back to Guruvayoor again? Or would you say, please, let's just keep away from this?
See, that is his right. Why? Because that the mother is a Christian. See, what is the crime I have done? You speak about conversions in these days, from Hinduism to Christianity and to Islam. And here I have done the reverse process. I could have baptized them. I didn't do that. Instead of that, I brought them as Hindus.
Ravi, would you go again?
Of course, I'll go again. It's a matter of faith. It's time, like Rahul says, it's time to rethink our values. We need to be in tune with our thinking or today's thinking. Our thinking is different from what my parents thought, my grandparents thought, and I'm sure my children will think differently from us.
All right. We close the program with the thought that this is an argument that can only be conducted in shades of grey. There are people who believe this end of the spectrum, there are people who believe this end of the spectrum, but the truth is multi-layered, many-textured, and exists in shades of grey, but at least we've agreed that it's time to debate it. Thank you very much, everyone.